We're a few days away from UFC Fight Night. Alex Perez versus Taira. We're back in the Apex this weekend. It's time for me to break down every single fight on this card, tell you who I think is going to win and how it's going to happen. Starting with the first fight of the night, Melquizael Costa versus Shailen Nerdenbiek. I probably butchered that. I know I did. So Nerdenbiek is 39-11, 30 years old with a 69-inch reach. 3-2 in the UFC, coming off of a KO loss to Steve Garcia by body shot TKO. Melquizael Costa, 20-7. He's 27 years old with a 73-inch reach, 1-2 in the UFC, coming off a KO loss to Steve Garcia as well. But I think Melquizael likes to get a bit more, like, he gets grittier. He's a bit more gritty. Nerdenbiek does get scrappy. He does throw out some winging hooks, shit like that. But I think Costa is better all around. I think he's going to be able to exploit him on the ground a bit more. If it gets there, he can take Nerdenbiek down. And he's going to grit out this decision win is going to be the pick. Melquizael Costa by decision, first fight of the night. Next fight up the card, we got Josephine Knudsen versus Julia Pilastri. I'm not going to do it, guys. Josephine Knudsen's winning by decision this fight. She could get a KO. I don't see it. It's going to be a decision, you know. We're flipping a coin there. Next fight up the card, we got Jekka Sergi versus Weston Wilson. I really don't know what Weston Wilson did to get in the UFC, because he cannot get cut at this point. He hasn't won a fight in the UFC. 0-2, been knocked out both times, and he's getting a third chance somehow. Anyways, Jekka, 14-3, coming off a round 1 KO win over Lucas Alexander. He has 9 KOs to his name. Weston Wilson, man, really, how is he signed? I don't know. 16-9, coming off of 2 back-to-back KO losses, making him 0-2 in the UFC. Peter Parker is going to get chinned, clean, out cold once again. I'm going Jekka Sergi by a round 1 KO. Next fight up the card, we've got Carly Judas versus Gabriela Fernandez. I don't wanna. Judas is 3-1 coming off of a loss on the Contender Series, but still got a contract. It was by decision. Fernandez 8-3, but is 0-2 in the UFC, losing to Jasmine Jasudavicius, Jesus, and a random 7-1 girl. I don't know how Fernandez is going to win the decision, though. Next fight up the card, we've got Josh Quinlan versus Adam Fugit. Adam is 9-4, coming off a submission loss to Mike Mallet. His only UFC win was a 23-year-old from Road to UFC. I think his name was Kazama. Quinlan 6-2, coming off of 2 back-to-back losses since his first UFC fight, which was a win. However, I like to think Danny Barlow and Trey Waters are a step above Adam Fugit. Quinlan does have power in his hands, as he has 4 KOs to his name. He popped for steroids after his Contender Series win. I'm going with Quinlan to get a KO here. I'm going to go with round 2 KO. Fugit's not bad. He can hang in there for a little bit, but he's breakable. And I don't think he has much to him apart from that. I think Josh Quinlan's going to get it done. I'm going with a round 2 KO for Quinlan. Next fight up the card, we've got Jimmy Flick versus Nate Maness. Nate is 15-3, coming off a round 1 TKO win, losing the 2 before that to Tagir Ulanbekov and Umar Nurmagomedov. He is quick on his feet, though, and has a 72-inch reach. And when he's not fighting a Russian guy, he's pretty good and able to impose his will on the ground as well. Jimmy Flick is 17-7, coming off of a round 2 submission over Malcolm Gordon. The 2 fights before that, losing by KO. He's a weak little soy boy. He's at a 4-inch reach disadvantage. Nate Maness is going to outbox this fool and finish him in the second round. Maness by round 2 KO is the pick. Next fight up the card, we've got Tagir Ulanbekov versus Joshua Van in the featured prelim bout of the night. Tagir is 15-2, 32 years old with a 70-inch reach. He's dangerous on the ground, but also not bad on the feet. Dangerous spinning kicks. Joshua Van, 10-1, coming off a round 2 KO in January over Felipe Bunes. He has 6 KOs, 2 submission wins, and 2 decision wins. He is a tough guy, but he's at a 5-inch reach disadvantage. And listen, you can go through Joshua Van's only loss and say, oh, I don't like I don't like him losing to Devon Jackson, but he's looked amazing since then. That was one of his first fights ever. And something you can't say about him is that he's lost to guys like Zalgas Zalmagulov or fucking Tim Elliott. Like, I get Tajir, he's dangerous if he takes Joshua Van down. It's a tough fight for Joshua Van, but I like Van's takedown defense. I like his striking a lot, even though he's going to be at a 5-inch reach disadvantage. I think he can get it done, man. I'm going to take the chance here on Joshua Van. I'm going to kick myself if I don't. I really am going to kick myself if I don't. I'm taking this chance. Joshua Van is going to push his pace round 2 and 3. He might lose round 1, but round 2 and 3 he's pushing his pace, and he's getting it done. Tajir's going to slow down, and Joshua Van wins this decision. Next fight up the card. So next fight up the card, we've got Brady Heidstand versus Garrett Armfield. And I will admit, I had a different memory of Brady Heidstand in my mind. I had a different memory of how that Brad Katona-Garrett Armfield fight went as I watched it live at UFC 297. I thought Brad Katona, at the time I thought he got the better of him. Obviously, after I've rewatched it, I don't know how I thought that live. I really don't. Katona did get a couple takedowns off, but he had less than a third of the fight in control time over 3 rounds. That's not that much. 4 of his 9 takedowns were defended, and he got outstruck every round. Garrett Armfield lands around 7 significant strikes a fight, or a minute, sorry. 7 significant strikes a minute is what it's listed as on stats.com for UFC. Brady Heidstand's not even cracking 2.5, and he just is breakable. I don't know. And like, you lose to Ricky Tercios. It was a split decision. I will still stand by the fact that Heidstand should have won that fight. But you got knocked out by Chad and Helliger. And man, like, you lose to Tercios, which was a split decision. It was a close fight, but Tercios outlanded him by like 34 significant strikes. And you get knocked out by Chad and Helliger, man. I was close to picking Brady Heidstand. I'm going to go with Garrett Armfield to win this decision. I don't think he knocks out Brady Heidstand. I think they're both good on the feet. It's almost going to cancel out. Heidstand might have him down at a couple points, but Garrett Armfield's winning this decision. That will be the official pick. Next fight up the card, we've got Asu Almabayev versus Jose Johnson. Asu is 19-2, coming off a decision win over CJ Vergara. He has 3 KO wins, 9 submission wins, 7 decision wins, 65 inches of reach. Seemingly endless gas tank. He was able to grapple for pretty much all 15 minutes against CJ Vergara. Even though he couldn't find that sub, he was able to continue grappling, transitioning, grappling. Jose 16-8, coming off of a round 3 submission win over Chad and Helliger. He lost by a twister before that to Damon Blackshear. 1 KO loss, 4 submission losses, 3 decision losses, sorry. He does have a 6.5 inch reach advantage over Asu Almabayev. But I think Asu out wrestles him easily, and we'll find a sub. I'm going with Asu Almabayev to find a round 2 submission here. Next fight up the card, we've got Douglas Silva de Andrade versus Miles Johns. Miles Johns is 14-2, coming off a decision win over Cody Gibson, before that beating Dan Argueta, but it was changed to a no contest, even though the rule that resulted in it being changed to a no contest was later changed. They got rid of the rule. So by today's standards, that win is a normal win. So I'm going to count it as such. He used a wrestle-heavy style to beat Cody Gibson, had nice counter-striking in moments. Douglas is 29-5, coming off a decision win over Cody Stamen. Stamen time. He's a vet, 38 years old. 20 of his 29 wins are by KO. His last KO was 2021, however, and before that it was like 2017, something like that. I believe Miles is defensively sound enough to not get KO'd by this old man. He is a vet. I won't disrespect him, but Miles will use his wrestling, grind out a decision win. It may not be pretty. Miles Johns will win this fight. So the next fight up the card, we've got Timothy Kawamba versus Lucas Almeida. Lucas is 14-3, 33 years old, coming off a round 1 KO loss to Andre Philly and a round 2 sub loss to Pat Sabatini the fight before that. He does have 9 KO wins to his name as well as 5 submission wins. His wins are against no names, though, apart from Michael Trezano, who is still a no-name. Timothy Kawamba got his foot in the door in the UFC by taking a short notice fight against Belagioki that went to a razor close decision for Belagioki. He's 25 years old, though, 71 inches of reach, 8-2 record. His only other loss apart from that is a submission loss a few years ago on the regional scene. I think he's going to break Lucas Almeida on the feet, and he's going to get a round 2 KO win for Timothy Kawamba. Timothy Kawamba, round 2 KO is the pick. Next fight up the card, we've got the co-main event of the evening, Ikram Aliskerov versus Antonio Tricoli. Ikram is 15-1, coming off a round 1 KO win over Warley Alves in October of last year. 6 of his wins are by KO, 5 of them are by submissions, 4 of them are by decision. I like his striking quite a bit. He's obviously more dangerous on the ground just because he's a Dagestani. His name holds danger on the ground. Tricoli's 12-3. 2 of his losses are by decision. 1 are by KO. He won on Dana White Contender Series in 2019, but it was later overturned to a no contest because Tricoli popped for a banned substance. He hasn't fought since 2021, and this seems like a layup for Ikram. Really, why is Tricoli getting a shot in the UFC after he failed a drug test in 2019? He won 1 regional fight since then. In 2021, hasn't fought since. Why is he in the UFC? It doesn't make sense. And Ikram needs a win. Remember when he was supposed to fight Costa, guys? Crazy. But Ikram's gonna try to outclass him on the ground, I think. Listen, Tricoli doesn't have any submission losses. Ikram probably has seen that and is like, well, who the hell are you even fighting on the ground? Not me. He's going to hear that and try to expose him on the ground. Ikram is getting a round 1 submission is the official pick. Ikram, round 1 submission. I'll say it again. That's the official pick. Main event time, guys. I'm pretty set in stone here. Alex Perez versus Taira Taira. Perez is 25-8. Coming off a round 2 KO win over Mateusz Nicolau at the end of April. He has 6 KO wins, 7 submission wins, and 12 decision wins. He has nice boxing. He likes to unload with massive heavy combos, 1-2 to the body before finishing with a powerful hook up top, 1-2 powerful hook up top. That's kind of how he finished Mateusz Nicolau as well. He was working that body all fight, and Mateusz didn't see that third hook coming up. Caught him right on the chin, put him out. It was a clean KO, though. He lost to Mikheyev by decision, though, but Mikheyev looked like shit. A lot of his takedowns got stuffed. His grappling got exposed a little bit. I think Mikheyev might just be bad. However, Taira is 15-0, and he's coming off a round 2 KO win over Carlos Hernandez. 4 KO wins, 7 submission wins, 4 decision wins. I like his ground game a lot more, and I even think Taira Taira is more dangerous on the ground than Muhammad Mikheyev is. You don't have Taira Taira losing 3 rounds before finding a submission that he needs to win the fight. No, Taira Taira is winning on the ground, and he's even implementing a striking game now. He's way better than he was before on the feet, and being competent on the feet and a danger on the ground. Alex Perez is not surviving. Perez is already the guy to get submitted in 1 round by any powerful grappler. Muhammad Mikheyev, you're not a powerful grappler. But yeah, 4 of his 5 submission losses, Perez, are in the first round. He's lost to Pantoja in the first round. He's lost to Benavidez in the first round. He's lost to Figueiredo in the first round. And 2 other no names. I'm not going to name them. But Taira Taira is good enough. I know he's good enough. And his scrambles are amazing. If he gets one of the takedowns that Muhammad Mikheyev was sniffing his knee on for 10 minutes each, or 5 minutes each round, if he gets in that position where he's just holding a single leg, he's lacing that back up. He's getting to that back. He's getting that rear naked choke. Taira is getting that round 1 submission, guys. I'm telling you, this is an easy pick. Give me Tatsuro Taira by a round 1 submission. I'm pretty confident there. Let me know what you guys think. Those are all the picks on the card. 1, I think I'm going to sweep the prelims. I'm saying it right now. I think I'm going to sweep the prelims. We've got Costa, Knutson, Sergi, Fernandez, Quinlan, Maness, and then the only one that could go wrong is the Ulanbekov one, I think. The first 6, we're looking good. I'm feeling good about this card. Let me know what you guys think. Let's go.